Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Shalom, Hotep. Assalamu Allah. Peace to the gods and goddesses. I'm your brother in the struggle, Brother Minister Alif Allah, true and living guyologist. I teach the spiritual sciences of life. And today, family, I'm in the secret vaults of the supreme angels, digging inside the crates. And I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. You know what I mean? It's a book I wrote. Let me see, what is this copyright? This was written copyright 1998, all rights reserved. That means we have a TX form, and basically all of my works are protected for 75 years after I physically died. Okay. Inside this particular book, at this particular time, we had a Supreme Angel Center that's no longer there. So don't order anything from this old address we have in North Philly. Shout out to Supreme Angel, Brother Minister Martina Law, to Sister Khalida Law. Know what I mean? Hard workers in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. Know what I mean? Who helped me to help our people over the years. Know what I mean? They family forever. But that address, in fact, shout out to the elder, Brother Minister Martina Law's grandmother, who actually donated the real estate to us back then. This was 1998. We was at 4640 Hurley Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19120. Like I said, don't write there anymore. And I mean, COINTELPRO, see, if you're not doing the work, the devil ain't worrying about you. But when you really teaching the teachers of Elijah Muhammad, you're going to face all types of opposition. Now I mean, they're going to come after your neck. Now I mean, so you got to put on the whole armor of God. You got to stay focused. And you got to stay consistent. I've been consistently doing this for 40 years. Now I mean, the struggle continues. All right, let me see here. In this particular tome, let me just turn to, instead of a table of contents, me being me, I took and called this the ingredients. The ingredients in this book is real simple. It's let me see here. We got, yes, it's only 6 chapters. Chapter 1 is what I'm gonna share with y'all today. It's titled "The Age When Gods Won't Age." The second chapter is titled "How to Master Your Emotions." The third chapter is titled "I Swear to God." The fourth chapter is titled 12 Hours of Light and 12 Hours of Darkness. And the fifth chapter is titled "What is That Spirit Allah?" And the last chapter is titled "P.S. You." Okay, so that being said, let me turn to this chapter 1. The age when gods won't age. Listen up, family. Is it possible for a human being to live for 1 billion years? Is it possible to remove cancer or a deadly virus with just a thought? As impossible as it may seem today, tomorrow will prove, as Messenger Elijah Muhammad has revealed, quote, "There is nothing that is impossible." Did people really live 600 or 969 years as claimed by the Bible's book of Genesis? In the mathematical and scientific teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, we find the answer is yes. As we reach self-perfection, we get closer and closer to the age when gods won't age. I would like to quote from Messenger Elijah Muhammad's book, Our Savior Azariah, published in 1974. I'm reading from page 114, titled, "He Allah Makes All Things New." Quote, also in the Bible, Isaiah mentions the long life of the righteous in these words, quote, that a person 100 years old will be like a child, meaning that their age will never cause them to look old. They will have the freshness of youth, says the prophet Isaiah, and the Holy Quran also verifies the same. Allah, God, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, out of his own mouth, said to me that he causes us to grow into a new growth, and that we would have the look and the energy of one who is 16 years of age, and our youth and energy of a 16-year-old will last forever. That's Messenger Elijah Muhammad. He, Allah, makes all things new. Our Savior has arrived. 1974, page number 114. The messenger reveals a 100-year-old will look 16. In this present wicked civilization, this seems impossible. People seek the fountain of youth in lotions, creams, and even surgery. These minor, fake methods are artificial and temporary at best. A 100-year-old who looks 16 does not sound crazy when we consider the fact that some people are born with a mutated aging gene. There are children who are 16 that look 100. Picture a child who ages 10 times faster than normal. Biologically, they could be on Earth for only 10 years, each comprising of 365 and 1/4 days. Yet, their bodies are genetically 100 years of age. This unique disease is called progeria. It is an abnormal, congenital, meaning existing at birth but not hereditary, condition characterized by premature aging. The appearance in childhood of gray hair and wrinkled skin, small stature, absence of pubic and facial hair, and the habitus of an aged person. Death usually occurs before 20 years of age. Progeria proves that the human body can age more quickly than the motion or time of the planet. Can progeria be reversed? What makes the DNA become so toxic that the very atoms vibrate above normal and the age gene makes the child other than itself? Can the secret be unlocked by practicing how to eat to live? Can this ageless body be free of diseases? The answer is yes, yes, yes. But only by studying, believing, knowing, becoming wise to, and understanding the raw teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad will the balance of culture and science be manifested. By definition, age is the length of time someone or something has existed. Today you may exist, be, or live in the person. Your God form consists of water, meaning blood, vegetation, meaning flesh, and stone, meaning bone, charged by electricity or your mind power. The mental magnetics of the atoms, sun, moon, and earth germinate life. Inorganic matter becomes organic. The rich black carbon atoms are found in all life. Carnal scientists attribute the mind to energy, while the spiritual preachers attribute the mind to a spirit. However, the messenger of Allah in person, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, teaches us that actually the original man has no birth record. He is older than the sun, moon, and stars. Think that over. The moon of today is 66 trillion years old. The oldest star in the galaxy is 72 trillion years old. And the sun of our solar system is 78 trillion years old, which is also the total age of our planet referred to as Earth. It took 2 trillion years for the volatile new Earth to cool and for the atmosphere to become clean and clear enough for the sun's rays to germinate the surface of the Earth with life in complex and advanced forms. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that human life has been on the earth for 76 trillion years, and the Creator, or mind, has no will or seventh dimension because it had no brain to think with while in that mental form. The physical form of the original man, the black man, has four forms: A, liquid; B, solid; C, gas; and D, plasma. These four forms of a law in person can be juxtaposed with the four colors of the four corners of the earth which form our culture: Africa, black; Arabia, brown; China, yellow; India, red. The genetic mixing and political migrations of these four colors to the north, south, east, and west produce a five-pointed classification stratum of humanity, viz. Or namely black, brown, yellow, red, and white. Every human being on earth is rooted in this base. Tribalism, religion, diet, environment, and mental progression or stagnation not only produce new cultures, it also helped to generate acid mutations by mixing and rearranging DNA. Simple cells have become very complex. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that 66 trillion years ago, a God in person set off an explosion that shattered one-third of the earth, forcing its debris to a distance of 11,994 miles away from the Earth's atmosphere, where it has been receding from the gravitational pull of the Earth until it's reached its present position of 243,000 miles. It is still receding at a rate of circa or about 1 inch every year, equal to 1 foot every 12 years, which means it will take our present moon 63,360 years to stray 1 mile, which is equal to 5,280 feet or 1,760 yards, equal to the metric equivalent of 1.609 kilometers. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam, and can be proven in no matter of time. He said that to understand the truth, we must first understand the law of life. And as a 5%er, he just wanted to teach us the science. Many thought Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings on, quote, the fountain of youth were no more than religious dogma. But as we shall see, as usual, the first, last, and only messenger of Allah, who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, was correct. How can a human being retain the mental and biological youthfulness and vitality of a 16-year-old? A youthful body and a psychologically old mind is not too attractive. A mentally senile person who cannot remember yesterday will get little joy out of a healthy body. For balance and satisfaction, our nature would demand both healthy minds and bodies. To grasp the key to any dis-ease in creation, we must analyze its origin and its demise. Every atom in creation works in harmony as a whole. The protons and electrons, positives and negatives, all serve a grand purpose. All diseases, which includes cancer and AIDS, can be kept in check or made recessive or weak. Every disease has its origin in the atom and is in the atom. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that everything in the atom is in us, and 9/10 of all disease can be traced back to the Yacubites, who were living foul in the caves and hills of the Caucasus mountain range off the bank of the Black Sea, north of Turkey. Let me give you a quote from the Bible in the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 1 through 6. The Bible teaches us, quote, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision. whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yeah, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, and whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Bible, the book of Job, chapter 30, verses 1 through 6. When we study the pathology of diseases like cancer and AIDS and HIV, we find that once the person dies, the disease dies soon after. Water, food, air, activity or exercise, and positive thought patterns have a direct effect on our bodies. Too much or too little of anything will have an adverse result, which we classify as a dis-ease. By nature, everything in creation is already in us. The essence of every disease and every medicine, the nature of God and the devil, has always been in the body and regulated by the mind and stimulated by the breath of heaven or air. Air was called the soul by the religious people who did not grasp the science of breathing in air. Messenger Elijah Muhammad revealed, the soul is really the air we breathe. By nature, we are linked to the natural world. The plants breathe in what we breathe out, and we breathe in what the plants breathe out. But the devil contaminates 3 cubic feet of air every hour. The trees are cut down and burnt. The Holy Quran says, corruption has appeared on the land and the sea on account of what mankind's hands or works have done. If the air, water, soil, and seed are poisoned, then the balance of life becomes unstable. The result is poisonous plant and conscious life. The fish, grains, fruits, cattle, and birds are all poisoned. Master Fard Muhammad, the Supreme Allah in person, revealed that ever since we had the earth, we had animals on it. This is scientifically sound because lower life forms had to predate the perfected human body. The complex, huge well was already in the single super ocean before man walked on earth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 21. In Hebrew, the word nephesh, or soul, implies self-conscious life, as distinguished from plants which have unconscious life compared to life forms with a brain. Many say fish and chickens are not meat, but scientifically this is not correct. They have blood, muscles, fat, skin, eyes, teeth, ears, a heart, and brain, so they live. The Bible teaches us in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 21, the following. And God created great wells, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Once humanity upset the normal laws of creation, there was a chemical imbalance in the human gods that went to the very core of the cells. The DNA in the cell became degraded because the air, water, brain, soil, and food was distorted. Harmful carcinogens or toxins mutated the DNA of Allah's body. The body or person or sakin of Allah was our holy temple, our sacred mosque. Today we have lost our state of Paragonism, we eat pork, drink alcohol, smoke anything, have sex with various partners, think negative thoughts, etc. No wonder sickness and disease is rampant. Our natural defense systems and our mind and body need truth and clean food to operate properly. I realize the scholars may want to contend with me on terms like, quote, Allah's body or, quote, in our mind. But I want to make a complex, highly scientific subject plain. Our red blood cells renew themselves every 4 months. Our disease-fighting white cells renew themselves in just 2 weeks. It only takes a little amount of white blood cells to protect the whole body, just 5 millimeters on average. The best way to restore order within is by studying and applying the teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Learning your lessons causes your neurons or brain cells to grow, connect, and strengthen. We are born with a 7.5-ounce gray brain, which is made from a mixture of black and white neurons or cells. One brain cell or neuron weighs 510 billionths of an ounce and generates an electrical impulse equal to 1/70,000th of a volt. Our thoughts travel as mental plasma at the speed of 24 billion miles per second, radiated by a collective of 14 billion brain cells. In this healthy state, no external pressure can surpass its internal pressure. The self-law is able to handle stress and maintains inner peace, sanity, and serenity or dignity. The wiser laws, the black gods, pray within often, not to a spook god in space, but they daily pray in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever, and thank him for raising his first, last, and only messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Not that a God will fly down to answer their prayers, but the activated truth will tap that subconscious where they naturally will think and practice absolute truth and righteousness. The Holy Quran reveals the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force if we but knew. This mind power becomes dominant in those who understand self. The physical aspect is found in the science of how to eat to live. Metallurgy is the study and technology of metals. Messenger Elijah Muhammad taught us to use cast iron pots, which scientists admit adds iron to the food, which is needed in the blood. Iron mixed with carbon makes the modern steel pots used by the believers today. Never use aluminum pans to cook with. It will poison the brain and do serious harm to your concentration and memory. When you look at a recipe, make sure that the food formula matches the chemical nutrients and How to Eat to Live. Books 1 and 2, published in 1967 and 1972 by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Unfortunately, I have read many recipes by noted MGT and FOI that call for white flour, which Messenger Elijah Muhammad warned to never use. This also goes for, quote, whole grain wheat flour. We should use stone ground wheat flour. He did not teach us to go out and buy or make a grinded stone like the wise people of Kemet or Black Egypt, who use such to grind grains. When the actual physical stones are used, the friction causes small dust grains to get into the flour, which quickly causes cavities. So we use modern stone ground wheat flour, which has the same texture minus the sand and dust particles. When you enter the kitchen, keep in mind that it is a laboratory. Abuse it, and the result is death. Use it, and the result is life. Today, where you find suffering, you find violators of the restricted laws of Islam, al-Shariat. The Bible teaches us in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verses 61 and 62, the following, quote, "Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God." Every generation of believers in the teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad will get wiser, stronger, and healthier. I would like to quote from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's article written October the 29th of 1965 in the Mr. Muhammad Speaks column titled, "In the Hereafter, No Medicine, No Drugs." The messenger says, and I quote, "This is the world that is emerging from the old world. This is what we are being qualified for. There will be no poison medicine or drugs used in that world to decay the life of the people. Natural laws will be obeyed, as Islam is the natural religion of the original black man. It being the natural religion of the natural man, the nature of the man and the religion of the man are the same. For this is the very life of the man or creature who is created by the law of which he was created. It is natural for the man to obey the law of what he was created. It is natural for the man to obey the law that by nature he was created in. Therefore, going back to the law of nature means there will be no place for medicine or drugs. As I have said time and again, these are the first steps being taken in what we should eat, how we should eat, and when we should eat. At the same time, creating in the body new material of thinking to feed the brain with proper mental food, which serves as security against physical attacks of foreign and strange matter that would always be present in combat from against the natural laws of nature. Everything happens on time and in time. By Messenger Elijah Muhammad. In the Hereafter, no medicine, no drugs. Mr. Muhammad Speaks, October 29th, 1965. The scriptures teach us that the angels will not suffer from the diseases of the demons, but the stipulation is that they must obey the word of the law of God. Think about this quote from the Bible in the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse number 26. The Bible teaches us, quote, "And Moses," meaning Elijah Muhammad, "and Moses, Elijah said, if thou," meaning true practitioners, "will diligently hearken or take heed to the voice," meaning the word or the teachings of the Lord thy God, "and will do that which is right in his sight," meaning mental vision, "and will give ear or understand to his commandments or restricted laws or orders, and keep all his statutes," meaning his laws, "I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians," meaning wicked Americans. "For I am the Lord that healeth thee." Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us the science of fasting. According to his teachings, fasting takes a minimum of 2 days without any food or drink. Nothing should be eaten during a fast. We do not eat when the sun goes down during a fast. For a mental or spiritual fast, it takes at least 3 days or 72 hours. All sins and all diseases can be forgiven by the truth of our Savior, Mahdi Fard Muhammad. The Bible teaches us in the book of Psalms, chapter 103, verses 3 through 5, the following, quote, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowned thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfies thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. Messenger Elijah Muhammad wisely took medicine as prescribed by his medical doctor. There are some religious orders who misinterpret and misunderstand the meaning of these prophecies. As a result, they will not take medication even when their life is in danger. This is spooky. Nor will they allow a doctor to try to treat a sick child. This is against the will of the law or common sense. Human ability is a divine gift. And the Holy Quran asks, which of the blessings of Allah will you deny? Let me quote the Bible, book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 14, that reads, heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for thou art my praise. And the human body is an immortal essence. These tiny embryonic stem cells have a pedigree or a line of ancestors that dates back to over 84 trillion years ago, when the mind, now called creator or energy, activated the perfected atom of life. The atomic essence is still alive and growing. It activated the first cell on Earth, and from the immortal embryonic stem cell came the embryonic germ cell, then oocyte or sperm or the cream of Asia, to fertilize the egg of the black woman and to produce a new cell. According to the book of Genes or the book of Genesis, or Genes is the book of beginnings, human beings used to live for about 1,000 years. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Bible, Genesis chapter 5, verse 5. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Bible, Genesis chapter 5, verse 20. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Bible, Genesis chapter 5, verse 27. What happened that caused human beings to only use 10% of their original brain power and to live only 1/10 or 10% of their normal lifespan? Religious people call it, quote, sin. Messenger Elijah Muhammad saw sin as any violation of natural law. Those who rebel against the will of Allah suffers. Bible, Genesis chapter 6, verse 3 teaches us, quote, and the Lord said, my spirit, meaning my mind, shall not always strive with man or humanity, for that he or they also is flesh, or God and goddess in person. Yet their days shall be 120 years. We have wondered, speculated, and guessed over the biblical narrative of Adam and Eve all of our lives until Allah raised Messenger Elijah Muhammad to teach us the hidden meaning of the Bible and Quran and how it refers to the people of Yaqub and the tribe Shabazz. We cannot interpret the scriptures hook, line, and sinker. Social scientists believe that humans are living longer for the first time today. But when you piece apart that theory, there are two major flaws. One, if that age rates are accepted just 100 years ago, people are living up to 50 years, and 200 years ago, people on average were living only up to 30 years. If we use this progression in a rigid form, 1,000 years ago, the oldest person had to be less than 1 month. Second, that systems date back to 1 billion years, yet civilization is believed to have become sophisticated a mere 6,000 years ago? Yes, 6,000 years ago, the people, the gods and goddesses of Kemet or Black Egypt, had an advanced civilization that is still being revealed and uncovered today. The whole Bible is rooted off of African culture and vision. And the story of Yusuf or Joseph, Mary, and baby Jesus, we see an echo of the African story of Osiris, Isis, and Horus. The biblical Adam and Eve are born as adults. The fake paintings of them show they had navels. Who were they attached to? Who gave birth to Adam and Eve? Why did they have navels if they are the original man and woman? If they're first, what umbilical cord was attached to Adam? Why does Eve have an umbilical cord and she was made from some spooky rib from Adam? The Bible reveals that people did not begin to pray until Seth began to produce. The Bible puts it like this. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Bible, Genesis chapter 4, verse 26. Before Seth, human beings answered their own prayers. 6,000 years ago, civilizations began to fall mentally and physically. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the devils began to rule the gods. A review of the biblical story of Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, Ishmael, and Isaac reveals that a year was a normal solar year of 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds, or 365 and 1/4 days. Genesis chapter 16 to 24 goes into ages with birth records of the sons of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings on the future reveals the following, quote, "We would have the look and the energy of one who is 16 years of age, and our youth and energy of a 16-year-old will last forever." Messenger Elijah Muhammad, our Savior has arrived, page 114. It is a divine inheritance that we should be thankful for and qualify for today. Progeria, the age disease, can be reversed. For every poison is also a medicine if properly used. The human mind is self-created and self-willed and governs all matter. It is a mistake to separate God from the people and call upon the Creator to solve the people's problem here on earth. Every positive thought activates a positive act, which leads to a positive results. Do not boast of an unseen Creator and disregard seen makers in your midst. We can improve the quality and quantity of our collective and individual lives. It begins now. Strive to better your mind, body, and environment. Every little bit helps in a big way. And believe that there will come an age when the gods will no longer age. The only way they will die is that they will have to will or invite death to destroy them. The universe and beyond is for a law. We were created immortal. We cause death by living contrary to our nature. Today, we wear away like any other machine. But atoms form molecules, which form compounds, which form cells, which form organs, which form gods and goddesses and persons. Most cells divide and multiply about 50 times and then wear out or, quote, die. Actually, they transform. The telomeres is the section of DNA which gets shorter each time a cell divides. By inserting a copy of the telomerase gene, in active form that is, into cells, they grow and divide indefinitely. Thus, a person could live 1,000 years. The cells, compounds, molecules, and atoms are being renewed. And as a result, the life of the person is being renewed. Once we eat, drink, breathe, and think poisons, pork, alcohol, pollution, and falsehood, we cause the cells to differ or mutate. So cancerous cells begin a chain reaction of death. Scientists call these tired or compromised cells precursors of death. We're going to transform. Religious people call it the mortality of the human being. There are two main categories of body cells. One, the essence of life, and two, the essence of death. This is the ancient law of polarity, cause and effect, actions and reactions. The internal dichotomy or divisions are the result of the war of the gods. The embryonic stem cells are the base from which new cells derive. Here, the said telomerase gene can restore the telomeres, that part of the DNA that helps cells grow. We naturally help this process by cleaning the water, the earth, the air, recycling, as well as our minds and bodies. It begins with the reality of a law of God in your brain and 1 meal of food each day or less, preferably a vegan meal without the pesticides and pollution family. Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches us the scientists had a simple and sure way of dying off. They began to eat 3 meals per day. As-salam Allah. That was chapter 1 of The God in the Mirror by Alif Allah, Godologist. To download the entire book, you can go on our website at noireport.com or simply cash at me just $7.95 to NAALINSTITUTEINC. That's $NAAL Institute INC. The struggle continues. Peace.